Hi Stitchers, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Stitching with Nicole, episode 132. Welcome back, everyone. Before we jump into today's episode, I do want to let you know that some of the links provided in the description below may be affiliate links, which means I earn a small commission if you choose to shop through those links. I appreciate your support of my channel. I also want to let you know that there is a Buy Me a Coffee link down below. I have had several people either send money or whatever to help with the cost of framing, and I thought this would be a easier way if you want to do that. It is basically a tip jar. It's always appreciated, never expected. Okay, you guys, so I want to let you guys know I finished my blessing stitch. And I finished it early, so I had a couple days to spare in January, which was super great. I'm very happy with my progress in January this month. I'm also really happy, minus the first week of January, I kept a really good track of what I stitched. When I stitched, I don't keep track of hours or anything like that. But I also made a master list. So I do have a complete master list, regardless of if I if I wrote down what I stitched every single day. And I think it's going to help a lot. And I say this because I thought I would do like my 2025 finishes in today's episode. But as I realized I did not keep good records again last year, I've met the last 2 years, in 2024 and 2025, it has been a process to go figure out what those all are. Luckily, I do have my past FlossTube episodes to look back on, but it means I actually have to go through the description of every single video to figure that out. So I started and I was like, there's a 0% chance I'm going to have that ready for this week. So you can look for that in an upcoming episode because I am actively working on it. What you can expect to see in this week's video. I have my blessing stitch finish. I also have a whole bunch of whips and even a new start. I want to talk about the new ornament club from Hands On Design. I'm going to talk about my Cherry Love Quilt Along finish, as well as the Cherry Love Border PDF that I've created for you guys completely free. And there is a link to that over on my blog, so you can download that and stitch it like mine if you want to. I'm going to share my previous Valentine's finishes, as well as a chart that is on my radar to stitch for February. I'm going to talk about upcoming stitching plans, remind you about Stitch the Olympics and the 250th kickoff hosted by Tara Sullivan of Sully's Stitches and what I'm planning to stitch. Then I have a little happy mail from Fat Quarter Shop and a tiny bit of Enable Vision I want to share with you. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to let you guys know that I do provide timestamps and links down in the description below for your convenience. Let's get started. I chose for my blessing stitch this year the Garden of Quilts from Lori Holt. And I picked this stitch because I literally did try to pick a sampler. I did. For the blessing sampler. I called mine a blessing stitch. It's not a sampler. And I did that because I was drawn to stitch this. And I think you should definitely go to where you feel the most, like, what do you feel drawn to? And I was able to finish the whole thing. So I'm going to hold it up and then we'll take a close up look at it. Here is my finish. I talked a lot about this at the beginning of January, where I wanted to have this for my new office space. It's still a couple months off before I actually get to that point. And really before my new furniture gets here. Unfortunately, it's just, it takes a little bit for it to come. I'm sure it wasn't in stock, have to wait for it to be built, all that good stuff. But I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to have this done. I'm excited for this to be the first piece that I put up kind of in that space. And I really want to focus more on finishing and working on some of those quilt projects that I really love this year, or sewing projects. So this kind of spoke to me on all of those levels, and this is my finish. So let's take a look at it and talk about what I stitched on. I stitched mine on the called for 36 count Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim, with all of the called for classic colorworks floss. Look at these beautiful colors. Also, my nail girl couldn't get me in, so I apologize. And by nail girl, if you know, you know, I do my own. She was busy. So this is my beautiful finish. I loved it. Now, I even said this on Instagram. If you saw my post on Instagram, I loved every single stitch, even these kind of boring borders, and then this border that was a little fiddly. And I mean it. There was just not a good rhythm for like these little greenery pieces in here. But once I did these first few, I will say the second half were a lot easier. These flowers were not hard to stitch at all. Someone left me a comment and said they thought I was missing a stitch somewhere. So I'm going to move my hands. I have not taken this to the framer yet, and I'm not going to take it for a few days. So I'm going to let you guys look, and I could not find that comment again. It drives me crazy when that happens. Take a look at it. If you see that I'm missing something, reach out, because I definitely want to... Oh, there's a little fuzzy there too. I definitely want to fix that before I take it to the framer. Obviously I put my initials and the date. That was one of my qualifiers, I suppose, for a blessing stitch, is I wanted to be able to personalize it just to commemorate that this was my year. This was my second year doing a blessing stitch, and I loved it. I very much love the colors. I think it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend. I know a lot of you have said that you're stitching this. You did stitch it. You want to stitch it. It really, really is beautiful. And there's someone in my Facebook group who is changing the colors to a little bit more of a rainbow scheme. I feel like this is kind of quote unquote rainbowish anyway, but I think she's doing more of like the color order, and it's so pretty. So pretty. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group, click the link down below, answer the questions. We would love to have you over there. Lots of amazing inspiration. So this is Garden of Quilts by Lori Holt for Fat Quarter Shop. And of course, I just love, love, love it. So pretty. I don't know what kind of frame I want for it yet. I usually go to the frame shop and and it is called The Frame Shop in Wichita, Kansas, and I let Steve kind of help direct. I always know. I'm like, no, yes, maybe. And then when we hit the right thing, I know. But I'm really, really excited to get this one done. I think I have 4 things to take. 4 or 5. It's a lot. I haven't been for a little while, so I've been stacking them up. And I am excited to go get these things framed and get them back and be able to share them with you guys. Okay, let's talk whips and what I've been working on. So most of my last week was spent finishing up my blessing stitch. I really wanted that to be done. And then when that was done, it was a free-for-all. I was a little scattered, and then I finally kind of centered myself back into working on my other Wipgo pull for January, which for me was Comfort and Joy from Plum Street Samplers. If you guys know, for Wipgo this year, I am doing Christmas Wipgo. I do have a Christmas Wipgo board that you can download. words are so hard sometimes, that you can download from my website. If you're interested, I will pop that link down below. I do have several downloads there, and we will talk more about downloads here in a little bit. So we're going to talk about this first, where things maybe went wrong, but I finally felt like I hit my stride, and I'm kind of sad that the month is over and I don't have more time to work on it. However, I've decided for anything I pulled for Wipgo, I'm not going to file back away. I'm keeping them in my Wipgo bog bag bucket, my bucket, if you will, all year. So if I work on my stitches, the pulls for February, and I'm done, I don't want to work on them anymore, or I finish them. I did finish one in January, the Let It Snow I shared with you last week. I'm going to pull this out and work on it. There's no rule that says I can't anymore. I very much make Wipgo work for me. And because these were the 24, 25 pieces that I pulled that I want to work on this year, I feel like I should just keep them there, keep them visible, and keep myself focused. So let me show you where I got to, and let's talk about some things that happened. So here is where I'm at. It is not the biggest progress by any means. Here it is, Plum Street Samplers, Comfort and Joy, but I will say this. I feel like this on a lot of pieces, but I especially feel like this on Paulette pieces. It takes me a minute to get into the rhythm. I don't know what that is. But like when I start, it sort of feels like a slog, and then I pick up the rhythm of the stitch and it is not as bad. Or I shouldn't say it's not as bad. It's enjoyable, which is so weird to me for just certain pieces. Some are just easy breezy. Some it takes a minute to get into it, but I love this piece. I think it's gorgeous. So I had hoped I could get this whole border completed during January. As you can see, I did not. I got almost half, I think. I am stitching mine on 40 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit. The called for was 36. I had picked 40 when I purchased this as a kit from Country Sampler. So here is all of my beautiful floss, and here's my stitch. So let's talk about the things that happened. When I picked this up to start working on it, I think part of the reason I was so slow to get going on this border's fun to stitch. And I had stitched probably about to there. And I thought, but I really wanted to get down here and be able to start working on some of the house. So I decided, let's stitch enough of these snowflakes that I can count down to the top of the tree, and I can start this tree so I can get some other fun, maybe get more of the size of the piece stitched, kind of like we have what the border's looking like. Let's get down this side, or let's get ourselves over here to work on the house. And something I know about myself, no matter how much I wish this was not true, anytime I try to skip around, like count down to something, I miscount every time. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish that I was able to, stitch and then count down here and just start stitching. That is not me. And I know this about myself. And so that's kind of an important thing to know. I think some people are able to do that, and that's wonderful. I just know I am not one of those people. So I counted down, and I did these snowflakes, and then I started stitching the tree. And that was right when I was like, okay, I felt it now. I'm in it. So I did. And I decided, let's go ahead and bring this border over. And I thought, I can totally get that done. Get the border done. You guys, I had made my critical mistake where I was before. And I'm going to try to, I think I have a photo. So if I do, I'm going to pop it in right here. I had kind of counted out, like I had done some of the greenery. I think I'd done a couple of the berries. But I had counted. I wasn't like stitching over. I was off one stitch. So when I started filling in a couple of the things I had missed, and then obviously I'd stitched a little bit over, I realized I was off one, and there was not a good way to fudge it, not really. And so I ripped it. I thought don't have that much done. I should just rip it out and restart. So I ripped it out, I restitched, and then I continued on a little bit, and that's where I ended. Well, that's where I ended the border last night. And I was like, I just need a little break from the border. And I decided I'll stitch this moon. And here's where mistake number 2 happened. And I say this, I'm not even upset about it. It's fine. This even, I was like, I'm glad I caught it now. I'm trying to look at it more as I'm glad I caught it now and I didn't like continue on something, and you know what I mean. So I stitched the outline of the moon, and I had almost, and that's the majority of this color. I don't know if you can tell, it's 2 colored. I had the majority of that stitched when I realized that I was stitching the outline in parchment and not in whitewash. And I thought, you know what? I just got done ripping all of this out. I decided I'm not ripping it out. I'm leaving it. So I reversed the 2 colors in this. The parchment is all the outside. The whitewash was the inner part that I stitched. I don't care. I really don't care. But what that led to was I realized, and this piece is full of snowflakes, you guys, full of them. I'd only stitched these 3 snowflakes. I had stitched those in parchment too. So what I ended up doing, I ripped those out and stitched those in whitewash because I didn't want to continue stitching all of the snowflakes in parchment. And you know, there's too many snowflakes to stitch. So ripping out 3 was not the end of the world. So I've ripped out a lot. I've frogged a lot on this piece already. And I restitched those. I did these, and I came over here and I started the little railing or whatever that's on the roof of the house. I know it's super hard to see. It's very ghosty. You can see it better actually on this than the photo. But that's going to allow me to get my chimneys and then kind of get the roof line in, I think. But I'm not upset about it. It is what it is. I caught it early. This piece is beautiful, and I really would like to continue working on it. So we're going to keep it in the whip rotation, even though we are going to be talking about the new Wipgo, and for me, Christmas Wipgo pulls for February. So my rest of my whips, I was cleaning up my regular whip bucket. It was kind of a mess. I have a tendency to just pile things. So I was reorganizing and cleaning them up. And I decided I was going to put a couple stitches in on a couple of these pieces. So let's see where I got to on a French Rose Marie Vallet by Running with Needles and Scissors. And here is, it's not a lot. But I did put a few stitches in on this. Here is what this piece looks like. I love it. I love the soft pink. This is being stitched on 46 count small potatoes by Lapin Loops with Flamingo Gloriana silk. This is all called for, and I love it. I love stitching on this fabric. I love the Gloriana silks. I believe I put in E, F, G, and a little bit more of this upper border. I also put in the P and the 7, and I brought this border down, but not the outer border yet, just the decorative border. Really, really cute and fun, and I just felt like putting in a few stitches. I'll also put the previous photo in next to here so you can see the progress that was made from this piece. So I want to continue working on this one as well, but love it. I love all of how pretty this is. And I think I may just leave all the names and things off altogether. I have an idea for what I want to do with this. I think it would be a pretty addition to Valentine's decor. This nice kind of dirty white fabric with the beautiful soft pink. I'm really into soft pink for Valentine's this year. And then, even though this is not part of my Christmas Wipgo, it is a Christmas piece, and I'll be honest, I don't really want to put this one down either. I love stitching on it. I started this, I want to, yes, the 31st of December, even though I'm kind of counting it as a January start. And that is 'Tis the Season from Blackbird from the Home for the Holidays book. Oh, didn't trim. I missed a little trim there. So here is this piece. I am stitching this on 36 count salt bush with all of the called for Belsois silks. And I was going to show a picture of the finish. Here it is from the book. And it is charted in French. I am going to stitch it in French. I really like that. There is the chart for it in English if you would prefer to stitch it with the English phrase, which is really, really nice. So I love that. In fact, let me see. I think there's a photo. No, there's not. But it is charted in here, and so it's 'Tis the season to be jolly, which is what that phrase says. But I love it. Look at that on the back of the book. This is an awesome book. I love it. Previously, I had this. I don't think. Oh, I put a few extra red stitches in on the bird, just to finish off my strand of red. But I stitched in the dark part on the face and a little bit here on the wing. And then I started the branch up and I did some of the leaves and started the snowflakes and did these berries. There's more leaves here too. I just did one color only. The fun thing of these berries is they have Algerian eye stitches, which I did look up a video because I don't know that I've done them before. I hope I did them right. So there's cross stitches all the way around, and then that Algerian eye is in the center. I really, really liked doing it. I mean, they look beautiful. But I love this stitch. It is gorgeous, amazing. I could see this being something I work to finish. It's not that big. It is, let us look. It is 226 by 81. And so it is not that big, and I think the majority of the stitching is in that bird. The tail comes out, the cardinal's tail comes out pretty far. Here, let's look at it. See, this is where the most dense stitching is, and that's where I started. So I probably still have at least half of the densest stitching to do. I love the decorative element where you just leave the stitches out for those little decorative pieces in the tail and in the body, which I already have right here. Then it's just this really beautiful branch with all the hollyberry and leaves. And of course the white. White looks so good on saltbush anyway. And it's not true white. It's kind of a beautiful dirty white. It's called vanilla pudding. I love it. So it's kind of that cream to white look. And of course, then your little phrase. But I love it. I will customize it with the date. I'll be honest, I do not love how it is over here where it's separated. I think the numbers, usually they are in here. I was going to say, I don't know how I'll do that, but I'm sure I'll put the numbers in somewhere. I'm just going to look through my book and see what we got going on in here. So I can tell you what I'm going to do with that. Yes, the numbers, they're on page 17 from you can use them for the sampler in the book. Let's look at that too. Which I know a lot of you have probably seen this stitched. I think this would be beautiful to stitch too. It's gorgeous. This Christmas garden. I know, I'm pretty sure Carol Saltbox Stitcher is who I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Anyway, I'll find somewhere on here to put the date. I just don't love it separated in that snowflake like that. So if I can figure out somewhere to put it where it's not, I think I'll do that instead. Even if I need to maybe move this snowflake and just put it all in I like it horizontal better, I think. Or maybe I can just tuck it in somewhere else. Anyhow, I love, love, love this. I'm feeling my Blackbird era coming on. Anybody else? I have an idea that I really want to implement, but I have a lot of other things going this year. So I've written it down and we'll see. Maybe next year. But I have this idea that I think would be really fun. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, at some point, or I'll forget. I'll forget where I wrote it down. That happens too. Anyway, this is 'Tis the Season by Blackbird from the Home for the Holidays book. I also think it's in another book. Might be wrong about that, but I think it's in another book, but I love this piece. It's so pretty. Okay, the final thing I stitched on this last week is a new start. I know. So I did have a new start this week, and I have wanted to stitch these for a while, and I actually had a sweet viewer send me a lot of these, and then Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I purchased any of the rest that I didn't have. And I would like to do all of these in the series. And what's funny is I was actually watching Tara Sullivan of Sully Stitches, and she was shared this one, and she's not the only one. I feel like I've seen this quite a few places. All of a sudden, there are two pieces that are on my radar that I've seen, and this is one of them, that I've seen being stitched a lot, which I think is so funny. I love it. I'm here for it. So I am going to show you what I got started right here. This is the January word play by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I started in the center, which was right about here. And then I worked my way over to my snowman. And I am missing a few colors. I did put in an order for those colors, and I think they're going to be delivered tomorrow or Tuesday. So I'm missing like the other color for the wagon, which I will be honest, I was a little bit like, because you're stitching it with pumpkin pie, which is the same color for the carrot nose, of course. But I gotta tell you guys, after seeing some of the finishes, I've seen two people. I wish I could remember who else I've seen who's finished this. Tara was one of them. And I was like, oh, no, it looks fine. So trust Brenda Gervais is what the moral of this story is. So I'm going to go ahead and finish. I am stitching mine on 36 count treasure map by Color and Cotton, which is like my favorite, all-time favorite color from Color and Cotton. And the called for was 35 count Abecedarian by R&R. And I did not have that. I have since ordered some 36 Abecedarian, but I didn't have that. And I think I want all of mine stitched on the same fabric. So unfortunately, it's closed now, but Color and Cotton's January pre-order, they were offering Treasure Map again. So I ordered enough so that I could stitch all of these on here. And I ordered enough that if I want to stitch anything else on this, I can, because I love it. But I had enough left that I can do two. So I have this one in the January one kitted up with what I had left, and then when my rest, I mean, I have plenty to stitch until it gets here, because I think it's like 6 to 8 weeks to get it or whatever. I'm good. So that is what I'm doing. All of the called for colors, which are, I believe, are they all Gentle Arts? I think they're all Gentle Arts for this one. And this chart is from 2011. I bet that whole series is from 2011. I love them. I have wanted to stitch them for a long time, and so I decided to just go ahead and get started. Once this snowman in the wagon is done, it's really just a few tiny motifs and words, which are pretty quick. These are not even elaborate. It's not an elaborate font, so those should go pretty quickly. I do plan on finishing mine into a little pillow with the jingle bells at the bottom and a little hanger. I love that. So that is definitely what I'm going to do. I'll probably put a little bit of my spin on it, as I like to do, but I'm just enjoying it. And something I have noticed about myself this year, Yes, I'm stitching some things in season, but I'm just enjoying the stitching. I'm trying not to get myself, I don't know how I want to say this. I'm trying not to feel so frantic and so just distracted. I like all the shiny new, just like you do. I love it. And there's nothing wrong with just stitching all the shiny new. I'm not saying that. I am just really trying to be very focused in what I'm stitching this year, and what I'm doing this year. And I have to say, I feel very good about where I'm at and where I'm going. I mean, I just feel very content. There we go. I'm very content with what I'm stitching, my goals, my focus, and staying here, you know, grabbing something, grabbing a wordplay, that's fine. Grabbing something and pulling that in and enjoying that, but working on that path. And I'm very happy with it. So let's talk a little bit about February Wipgo. Let's talk our Christmas Wipgo 2026. So the Wipgo polls for February are 5 and 22. And of course, as luck would have it, neither of those are actual whips for me. They're going to be 2 new starts. So let's talk about both of them. For me, on my Wipgo board, those are Hands-On Design, Gather Round the Manger. That is 5. And 22 is Teresa Koget's Sweet Moon, which you guys know I was, both of these, eager to start. Obviously, they got put on my Wipgo because of that. Sweet Moon, I had intended to start all of December and did not. And because I loved my Sweet Friend Jung's version so much better on the neutral fabric instead of the black dark fabric. For a reminder, this is Sweet Moon. This was in the 2024 Kitten Stitcher Advent box, but has since been released. I thought I'm going to change the fabric. So even though, and let me turn my camera around. Even though I had originally kitted it up with the Black Swan from Fox and Rabbit, I'm going to put this back in my stash. And I have spent so much time going back and forth on a neutral fabric. I think I'm going to stitch this on 36 count Sepia by Cedar River Linen. And the change that Jung made that I particularly love is she used, instead of the squash and yet making it yellow, she used hollyberry for the majority of Santa's coat and hat, and it is absolutely stunning. So I am going to do the same. I'm just going to flat copy her because I loved it so much, and I'm sure I'll change the color of the words too. Let me see if I can pull up. No, she still stitched them in yellow, so I shall see. They look really good. I'll see what looks good on my fabric, but I'm going to get this one started. It's kind of a bummer it's not already started, but that is fine. So that is one of my February Wipgo goals. And as a reminder, for my Wipgo, I don't work on it any set day. Or a set amount of days or anything like that. It is simply touching whatever is on my Wipgo board. And so even if I just put in 5 stitches, that's going to count for me. I more than likely will do quite a few more stitches than that. But that is my goal with my Christmas Wipgo, just to be very intentional with what I am touching. We get to December every year. There are so many more pieces that I want to stitch than what I actually get to. So I have just really decided to make an effort this year to focus on a couple of pieces with the Wipgo polls and make it Christmas Wipgo all year long. I love to see you guys that are participating in the same thing. Thank you so much for, having fun with it, stitching it. I know some of you have messaged me and let me know that you finished both of your January Wipgo polls. That's amazing. I love seeing that because that is the goal, right? The goal is to, stitch it to that finish line. So I love that. Also on my blog, there's a link to these down to my blog down below. Down on the right hand side of my blog, scroll all the way down to the bottom. I have downloads for you guys, and there is also the Christmas Wipgo monthly numbers. So I filled this in. Actually, the download now will have these nicely printed in, like January's. I didn't reprint mine, I just wrote mine in, and it's how I'm keeping track of kind of what I've done, in addition to the planner page in my planner where I have a list of all of that information. So 5 and 22 this month, friends. Let me know if you're excited about what got pulled for you. Let me know if you've gotten started. The next pull for me, of course, was the hands-on design Gather Round the Manger. This was a Jingle Ball 2025 release, and I am going to be stitching mine as the single piece down here. My friend Lori Craig has completely stitched and finished this. I think she did that in December. It looks absolutely incredible. I have not decided what I am going to stitch on. I don't have this kitted up. So I'm going to start Sweet Moon first, and then I will start this one. I am going to not stitch it on blue. I'm going to stitch mine on a neutral, and I have not decided floss either. It is completely charted in DMC. I think I'm going to do an overdyed conversion. So I'll let you guys know about that. I have not, it's probably my overdyed conversion is going to very much be influenced by what color I choose to stitch this on. Whatever it is, I think I want to make sure it's a little bit more, I don't want to stitch on like a white-ish, or anything too light. But I don't want it to be dark either. I want the sheep to show up. At least that's my initial feeling. The other thing, so Cathy's charts are charted for the most part on 32 count, which even on 32, the stitch count, if it is a single piece, is 148 by 51, which is going to be small. Even on 32, it's going to be small. I don't want to stitch with 2 strands of floss, so I will be stitching on 36. I don't want to go any higher or smaller count than that. I don't want to go 40 or anything, because it's just going to get tinier and tinier, and I want to get mine framed. And so I think 36 is about as small as I want to go for that. I just need to figure out my fabric and my floss. So I'll check back with you guys next week and let you know what I've decided on that. We have all of February, and my goal is to get it started. I would have liked to have had that all planned so I could have it finished, but it is what it is. Make sure and grab your PDFs from my blog if you're interested. And I'm so excited to see everybody who is participating in Christmas Wipgo. Tell me how it's going down in the comments. Okay, quickly, as we were talking about hands-on design, Cathy of Hands-On Design is starting an ornament club, you guys. It starts tomorrow, or you can join tomorrow through Patreon. February 2nd, Groundhog Day, and it is going to be a, you can watch all of Cathy's videos. I'm going to link to her YouTube channel down below so you can kind of hear all about it, find out all the details, see what you want to do. But what I want to mention to you guys, if you love making ornaments for your Christmas tree, it kind of goes all along with my Christmas Wipgo. This is going to be fabulous. It is very much geared towards, you can just grab the charts if you want to. She has 2 tiers in her Patreon, and then the other tier is going to be more geared towards almost like a mini class, finishing those ornaments. So if you love learning from Cathy, she is absolutely incredible as a finisher. I highly recommend checking that out. If you love Christmas ornaments and you love learning how to finish, I think that will be fabulous. And what I want to mention is that she has partnered with Lindy's Stitches for the finishing products. So if you want floss, if you want finishing details, if you want all of that stuff. So let me show you what that is really quick. I'm going to do a little share screen, and we are going to, okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys, and you can see I've already got Lindy's Stitches pulled up for us. Okay, So here is the Lindy's Stitches website. So I am going to, the easiest way I think to find it, you can always see what's new. So we're going to talk about that first so you can see what's new. I also want to show you, see this tab right here, Nashville Needlework Market 2026. This is going to take you to the Nash Stash for 2026 where you can pre-order all of your favorites for Needlework Market. I will be definitely popping in and sharing all of my favorites, kind of like I did last year. So if you want to know what I am super excited about, you stay tuned. That is coming soon. If you like getting the cookbook every year with all the little mini charts, 50 charts inside this year, you guys, that is always a good one. But like I said, we'll talk more about that later. So how I like to search for this, we are going to go to the search bar and we're going to type in Ornament Club. And when you pop in Ornament Club, the first 3 things in there are the Hands-On Design Ornament Club. You can see the little logo and all of that good stuff. So we've got our floss pack. We have the set of 12 pre-cut boards. And there's a trims and doodads pack. These are all fabulous. I love that you can grab all of those right here so easily and perfect for all of your finishing. So I wanted to point that out to you guys in case you're interested. And like I said, in case you want to pick up any of those things for her Patreon, I will have links to all of that down in the description below. For the last few weeks, I have been sewing along with Fat Quarter Shop for their Cherry Love Quilt Along. This is a completely free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, and it is absolutely adorable, and you can stitch this up in just one afternoon, probably. It is really, really quick. I was actually able to stitch all of mine in one afternoon. I've broken it up into pieces to share here with you and on social media, but it's super quick and easy, and I have mine all ready to send off to the quilter. So I have sewed my blocks 1 and 2 together and added the borders. I'm gonna have to back up a little bit so you can see, but look how cute. So easy to put together, so fun. Look at the little cherries. Aren't those adorable? So I used the kit from Fat Quarter Shop, except I did swap out my green because I wanted a little bit different green than what was provided in the kit. But everything else is from the kit, and you get lots of fabric. I was able to use the leftover, as I mentioned last week, for the back of my little Cherry Love cross-stitch pillow finishing. I've cut up the rest of mine to do something fun with that. So it is going to be really, really cute and fun. So that is the Cherry Love Quilt Along. The finished quilt measures 28.5 by 37.5. It's nice and small. Imagine it kind of draped on a little ladder, used as a table topper, a wall hanging. Absolutely adorable. I will have links to everything still available down below. There is a cute little Cherry Love zipper fob that you can get. You could put it on scissors too if you wanted to. That's really fun. And we are going to talk about the cross stitch really quick next. Okay, so last week I shared my finish of the Cherry Love cross stitch. This is the free version. I did alter it. If you want to hear all about all of those things, definitely check out last week's video right here, and you can hear all how I changed this. In last week's video, I said, if you are interested in that border, if you wanted me to chart it, please let me know. Overwhelmingly, it was a yes. So I did chart this, and I am happy to say that I have it available for you. Now, I want to let you know that I did ask Fat Quarter Shop if I could share it. So I did have to wait to share until I got permission from them, and I have charted it. And a lot of the requests, I told you last week, I could only share the border because I organically stitched that as I was finishing this. I stitched the cherries, then I found an alphabet from a Blackbird book that I stitched, and then I decided it needed the border after all because the free, I don't even have the chart. I'm going to pop it up into the screen right here because the actual stitch does have a border around it, but I removed the heart from the original stitch, and then I added the text, and then I added my own version of the border. Well, I had some requests to give the phrase as well. I could not chart that actual phrase or even that actual style. If you want to use the exact one, I used from When the Leaves Fall from Blackbird, and you would have to just kind of finagle it. I did point out that my phrase went through the line. And when I was designing the border, I did chart an alphabet. I charted the phrase, but like I said, I just did something completely different because I did not want to replicate the Blackbird one in any way. So I do have a free download. You can click my blog. It will be a free download there. This is completely free. And it was going to look something like this. It will have all of the details on it. And it's going to tell you the finished size, what the size will be on the different counts of fabric, and then it tells you about my stitch. And it tells you where to get the original alphabet as well as the one I've charted. So let me flip my camera so that I can show you guys. When you print it out, you're going to get, it's kind of a grayed out version of the cherries. If you want to stitch this, you do need to go over to Fat Quarter Shop and download their free chart for the cherries. I put it in here as placement. You can see that the alphabet is different. It's still a script, but it is a different alphabet and it doesn't finish exactly the same, but I have charted it so that it fits within the stitch and it's very similar as far as design. So there in here, you can see what this looks like. Here is the chart, so you can get your center line very easily if you're a center starter. And it is charted, and it's going to finish exactly like mine, minus the difference in the font. If you're interested, again, completely free on my blog. On the back, it does show you, I used ribbon red for my color. That is the called for color from the Fat Quarter Shop chart. I tried for longer than I'd like to admit to you guys to remove this color in the software, and it would not come out. If I removed it, it removed the cherry. And I think, the cherries, I think you need those cherries. Oh, it's on the back of this one, as a guide for placement so that you know how far away the border is on the sides and from your alphabet. So again, you're not going to stitch the cherries in gray. It even tells you on here that the gray area is for reference only, and see the Fat Quarter Shop chart, Cherry Love chart for the colors and how to stitch that. Now, I did put on here, if you are not using the over-dyed floss for the design, the called for on the Fat Quarter Shop chart is DMC 321. So I did use ribbon red, but you can use 321 if you prefer stitching with your DMC. So hopefully, you guys, that you will enjoy stitching that border. If you stitch this like mine, please tag me. Let me know. I would love, love, love to see it. Please tag Fat Quarter Shop and let them know as well. And a huge thank you to Fat Quarter Shop for letting me chart the border and share it with you guys for free. I love being able to do that, and hopefully I can do share some other fun things in the future if I change anything else or make anything. But anyhow, that is the Cherry Love border. Thank you guys again for your overwhelming support and excitement over stitching it with the border. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. And just a little note, you could use that border for something else if you wanted to. You could eliminate everything inside there. If you have a fun phrase or a fun word, maybe you're doing a word of the year, pop it inside of that frame. I think it would be absolutely adorable. It's time for previous Valentine's finishes. So I have pulled my previous things that I have stitched and FFO'd. I still have, as we've discussed earlier in January, multiple things I've stitched, little teeny tiny smalls, that are Valentine's themed that I need to FFO. So I need to get on that. Hopefully I'll have those to share with you guys next week. But I don't have that much. And I notice what I do have is all small. I have one Valentine's whip. The love one that I'm stitching, it's all the words of love. It's in the shape of the heart. You've got the love, is that right? From Hello from Liz Matthews. I need to finish that. That will be and end up being a framed piece. I'm contemplating restarting it. Maybe not. I'm halfway done. I'll let you guys know. But I need something big. Like, I need a Valentine's sampler. I'm going to show you right after this. Oh no, I have more than one whip. I have the Love Notes. Isn't it Love Notes from With Thy Needle and Thread? I don't think I have any of those started. Any of the others started. I finished 2, but I have others to stitch in that. So I'm kind of counting that as a whip. So let's just say I have 2 whips. And I have lots of things I want to start that are kitted up, but a lot of them are small. I need something to stitch bigger. I have one thing, it's not big. I'm going to still kind of consider it a small-ish. Yeah, so that I want to stitch. I said that there have been a couple things circulating that I've seen people stitching, and this one had been on my radar, and I think I'm going to stitch it. But I need to find something that I can get framed. Okay, so no particular order. I do have a felt project that I did that I have a video for that I'll link to, and I did bring one paper crafted project because I love it, and it does kind of serve the frame thing for now. And I will link to both of those because they do have videos. So this is, I hope I can remember everything, October House Fiber Arts. This is a freebie. I stitched this a couple years ago and finished it. I do not love, like, I think it's got poly pellets and polyfill in it. It's very squishy. I kind of am thinking about opening it up and filling it with wool roving to give it more of that sturdy pillow finish that I love. But we shall see. I put a little arrow and stuff on there. Really cute. I love the colors in this one. Super pretty. It kind of hits all of those mauvey pinky colors that I'm loving this year. How many of these are freebies? A lot. That's funny. Okay, this was a freebie from Cherry Hill Stitchery, who of course is not designing charts anymore. So sad. So this, whoops, I stitched this a few years ago. Really cute, super fun. I'm going to do my free ones first. This is one of Cathy of Hands-On Designs complimentary freebies, Love is Kind. And I do have a hanger on this. I'm going to show you what I've been wanting to do this for years, and I just need to make it happen this year. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. And then my last, nope, I have 2 more freebies. Okay, so this is from Emily Call. And I stitched this a couple years ago, and I put it on I made a beaded thing for it. It's fine. I'm actually going to remove this, and I'm going to put a hanger on it. I'm going to probably remove everything from this, and we're going to hang this one as well, just like the Love is Kind from Cathy. And then my last freebie and my favorite, it's very simple, but I love it so much. This is from Hello from Liz Matthew. It's the Always arrow. I don't know the name of it. I will have looked all of this up for you guys and popped it down in the description. But I love this one. I tacked on this really fun Stampin' Up! Trim. I have this in I think it's in a beautiful robin's egg blue color, a mauvey pink, and then this red. I tacked the red around it. I added some Just Another Button Company pens. I love this one. Some fun little fabric on the back. This one's my favorite. I don't know why. It just is. Okay, and then a couple of years ago, there's a whole playlist here on my channel. My friends and I did a fun friend stitch along where we stitched the Valentine's Quaker from Primrose Cottage. I stitched mine twice. I stitched it in 2 different colorways. We have the 36 count. This was on a red fabric from Color and Cotton. So I switched the colors, and this one was the called for. So I stitched on 40 count blush with the called for color, and then this is the other version. I really love the colored fabric with the white stitching. Yes, I was crazy. I did it twice, but it was really, really fun. Absolutely so, so cute. I'm excited to put together some dough bowl displays. I stitched these right when I came back to cross stitch. So these are little cute ones from Primrose Cottage, stitched with all the called for colors on a 32 count fabric. I like that fabric on the back. Super, super cute. And then this is my Heart in Hand Tiny Town Love drum. My first drum finish. I see all of the problems with it, but I am going to live with it the way it is. Decorated it with some fun cherry chick biz pins, some buttons. Love the bright, this is total Valentine's vibe to this one. I really like the tiny towns as drums. I think they're really fun like that. So really, really cute. And you guys, that's my Valentine's cross stitch finishes. FFOs. I do have, like I said, I probably have, oh, I missed one. I showed it to you guys. Hold on. So I also have the Love Key to My Heart from With Thy Needle and Thread, which I stitched last year and finished this year. So that is it for cross stitch FFOs. I wish I had, like I said, I need some bigger pieces. I have a lot of little pillows. So I also did this fun project with felt. And it's die cutting felt and literally rolling up flowers and gluing them in place. This is a video on my channel using Binsey Design felt flowers, I think for the most part, if not all. Maybe some of mine. Added a cute little pick with a little sign in it, ribbon, stick pin, all of that good stuff. I did this last year. These hearts were at Target. If they have them again, I will link them for you guys because I thought they were incredible. They are nice and thick. I painted them. Probably should have painted the back too. I didn't. And then they can just sit together on a shelf. So really cute and fun little hearts. I kind of would love to make another version this year. We'll see if I get it done or not. And last but not least, this is my beautiful framed up tag piece. I really love this. I've also, so along with the mauve colors, this year, I really also have really been digging the Distressy Dirty Browns and Reds, which I did this a couple years ago. It was the bonus live for reaching 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube for my paper crafters. But I do love this project. It's a frame from Hobby Lobby. If they still have it, this is an amazing shadow box. So you can check that out. I know I picked it up at 50% off, and I just thought, yeah, it is Hobby. I was like, I tell you Hobby Lobby, and then what if they don't have it, if it was Michael's? But no, it was Hobby Lobby. But I really loved how it turned out. It was really fun to create. And you could also use shadow box things like this and do something with your cross stitch pieces too. So I just wanted to mention a couple of those just because they were in my Valentine's box with all of that. Okay, so what I want to do with my hanging hearts, I actually got this tree. It came in a set. I think I have 2 of them from Amazon. I'm going to pop a link to this down below, but it has little lights on it, and you can do steady on and then timer, so then it'll go off at a set amount of time. I cannot remember what that is. I'll have to look it up. But what I want to do is put hanging hearts all over my tree. And like little cross stitch hearts, some felt hearts and stuff. So see how I'm going to just kind of remove all of this stuff, and I'm going to make another heart ornament. And that is what I want to do for this little tree as a cute little display for some of my teeny tiny smalls. And I think that'll be really fun. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get some more of that. It's just something to add to every year, I think. I had another small little crafty project. Maybe we'll incorporate some cross stitch. I don't know. That I want to work on. But for some reason, Valentine's really lends itself to little teeny tiny smalls really well, doesn't it? Who knows? Let me show you the chart that I've been seeing everywhere that I want to start. Okay, I've been seeing this chart everywhere. This is Cupid's sampler from With Thy Needle and Thread. It was stitched on 40 count winter brew with 347. Pretty sure I'm going to stitch it on 40 count winter brew. I'm kind of thinking about using like a belle soie, but I love it. And my friends can attest to this. I was with a couple of my friends a couple years ago when this was released, and I was like, eh. And now I want to stitch it. I think I just wasn't in my sampler-ish era, but I love this. I do think, this was finished, I believe, with a hem stitch. I'll just look at it and tell you guys. Yes, it is. And so it wasn't framed. I'm thinking this could be a really cute framed piece, especially because I don't have a ton of things I even like that are, or I just don't have it. I don't have things in my stash. I was looking in my book. My Valentine's section is very small. So there is a great Blackbird sampler in one of those books. I have it pulled for the hearts that I want to do. And I think that would be really pretty to stitch. There's a few little projects in there, but they're like little projects. I feel like there's not a lot of things that I want framed. I think this could really serve that purpose. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Really cute. I do want to tell you the Cupid motif on this. It's a 5x7 sampler. The stitch count is 143 by 99, and it's, I think, 5x7. It was reproduced and charted for cross stitch from a late 18th century woodblock engraving, which was originally used for printing at Bruce's Type Foundry. The Cupid motif was of New York. So a couple of things I love about this stitch. It's got the C over here for Cupid. And then I really love the letters that spell out love, the E, L, O, and V, are a little bit different. I don't even know what this is called. Let me look. It's a specialty stitch. Four-sided stitch for the 4 letters that spell love, and a Smyrna cross for the letter C for the left for Cupid. But then I really love the little XOXO down at the bottom and the little hearts and the February 14th. So I'm going to stitch this one. I think this will be something I could get framed. I think it would be cute paired with my shadow box. Don't you guys think? I think they would look really nice together. So this is something on my radar. I'm trying really hard not to start a million Valentine's projects because I clearly have issues finishing them, even though I love them. I don't even know what it is. Anyhow, so that's kind of what's on my radar. That was my previous Valentine's finishes. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay, let's talk about upcoming stitching. You know, I'm doing a very loose plan. I have my Christmas Wipgo going on. And then last week, and I will post, tag it here. I'll also have a link down below. and a link to Katie the Naptime Stitcher. She has a free download for Stitch the Olympics, which is just a fun activity that kind of makes it easy to stitch along with the Olympics. I talked all about my plans in last week's video, and I am going to stick with that. It's a lot of repeating charts, like rotating them through, making them work for the different categories. Did that on purpose so I would just kind of focus on those projects. So I'm really excited about that. Then my friend Tara of Sully Stitches, she is doing a fun Super Bowl stitch along like she did last year. This year's is called the 250th Kickoff. There is a hashtag. I will have it right here on the screen for you guys. And make sure you tag Tara. I will also have Tara's Instagram handle here if you stitch along. So I definitely wanted to join in on that as well. And I picked, look, I couldn't decide what to pick. I don't know if this is a small. What she's having kind of the theme is it's the 250th birthday of the United States. So it's a patriotic piece. And she said, start a patriotic small. I'm going to count this as a small. I looked through things. This is the thing that popped into my head first because I have my big patriotic piece I'm working on. And I thought, I kept trying to make something else work. And I finally said, no, just pick this one. It's already completely kitted with floss, with the fabric, everything. It's going to be easy peasy to start. And I have wanted to do this for a while. So I picked Summer's Swan by With Thy Needle and Thread. I am going to start this on Super Bowl Sunday. And I think that's also a day for the Olympic stitching. I have no idea what is even called for that day because I don't have my paper right here with me. However, I'll get some stitches in while the Super Bowl is on this beautiful piece. I've been wanting to stitch it for a while, so very excited to get that one going too. So that's kind of upcoming plans, things going on. Again, I will have a link to Katie the Naptime Stitcher. I will tag Tara. I will tag Katie. Definitely check both of them out for upcoming fun February stitching. Okay, a little bit of Enable Vision, not a ton this week, and also I have some goodies from Fat Quarter Shop, so some happy mail. I'm going to roll that happy mail first, and then we'll talk about the Enable Vision. Okay, so I have some happy mail from Fat Quarter Shop that I want to share with you guys. First up, they sent along one of the Lori Holt seam rollers. This is in the color Tea Rose. I showed this. It was also included in the Cupid box. Super excited. You can pick these up individually. I will have links to all of these things down in the description below as well, in case you're interested in picking any of those up. This is the 9-inch jelly braid paper, and also the 5-inch jelly braid paper. These are awesome for those perfect for piecing, and great. It creates 9-inch wide finished braid rows, and it says even on here, great stash buster, so great for your scraps and things. Okay, then they also sent, and I'm super excited to try this out, the 10-inch paper roses. I am going to give this a try, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to probably just grab some scraps and do one. I think these would also be fantastic for a project bag, like a project bag front. I'm planning, well, I don't want to give too much away. Okay, I'm also, let's see, I want to see what they say about this, because I actually have this book from a long time ago. Oh, this is the Great Granny Squared Quilt Pattern. It is for this, but it was in this book. So previously, this was in the Great Granny Squared book. So the quilt inside here measures 72.5 by 85.5. The bonus quilt 54.5 by 66.5. The table runner 24.5 by 45.5, and the pillow 24.5-inch squared. So really cool, awesome for all of my Lori Holt fans. Beautiful projects as always. Okay, and then some cross stitch patterns, pardon me. We have Silent Night. This was in the Stitch Quarterly for quarter 4, I believe. The Pansies cross stitch pattern, and we have the Aster Trails quilt pattern. So thank you, Fat Quarter Shop, for sending these things along. I will have links to all of them down in the description below. Okay, Enable Vision. So many of the people I love watching sew are sewing along with Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts. January quilt along. She does a quilt along, I think, almost every January. I participated 2 or 3 years ago? I did the beautiful blue winter themed quilt. It's completely finished. I shared it during Vlogmas. And last year, she did a Valentine's quilt, which is all cut and most of it is sewn. My goal is to get that one sewn up and sent off to the quilter this week. We'll see if that happens. I would really like to have that one done and back as soon as possible. And I kind of loosely, I did not do a Wipgo board for this, but I loosely have a goal of sewing every month. And I have hit that for January. I did the whole Cherry Love quilt along. So I sewed it. Yes, it was a little mini quilt, but I sewed that. I have another really fun project that I worked on that I can't share quite yet. So I sewed. I feel like I could check that off. I hit that goal for myself. And her quilt along for January this year, it's a paid for, each week it's a paid for PDF. I think it's $3, and there's 4 weeks out right now. I cannot show you the PDFs, but it's called Wintertime Magic Row by Row Trees, and I have started all my fabric. I have a tendency, I kind of hesitate on these mystery quilt alongs until I see what a few of the blocks look like to make sure, like, I knew with the first week with the trees, it's kind of Christmassy themed for sure. And I love what she's basing it on this really fun, I think it was a Bowden sweater. Really cool. I will link her blog down below. Definitely check it out, and you can definitely run over and grab the PDFs if you want to sew them along, or maybe you just want to grab the blocks and sew them into project bags. Really cute too. And I didn't know what colorway I wanted to do. Like, sometimes I know and I'm like, okay, I'm good. And I wasn't sure because I love the blue and white colorway that I've seen. I think Lacey's doing it. I love that colorway, but I am a traditional red and green kind of girl. And depending on what the blocks were going to be and if I could use the quilt for winter or use it for Christmas, I kind of held off. Well, it has holly and berries, and I was like, I've seen them done in the blues and it's really pretty, but I want them in greens and reds. So Joanna has amazing Christmas collections. I kind of combined a bunch of stuff, fabrics from other Moda designers as well. I bought some bundles from Joanna around Christmas time. She also kind of, mishmashes a whole bunch of different designers together for reds and cream bundles and greens and all of that kind of good stuff. And from years, this was not all from this year. So I kind of mishmashed my fabrics together. I've starched all of it, and I'm going to start cutting this week and start sewing. I'm going to make the lap quilt version. You can do a tabletop or table runner or lap quilt size, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and do the lap quilt size because I think I'm going to love it. I think this week it's going to come out with like the checkerboard. I'm going to guess it's a checkerboard border and finishing, but I love that. So I did want to mention that to you guys, so stay tuned. I'll show you some of that, hopefully some behind the scenes of that next week. But the blocks so far are trees, sweethearts. The hearts are so cute. You could use those for some Valentine's projects as well if you want to make something smaller. The holly, and then some bows. And the bows are definitely an intense looking block, but I'm kind of excited to challenge myself to try that. So, and she does have it where you don't have to use it if you don't want to. You can make a whole row of holly berries and leaves and leave those bows out. So I'm going to guess the bows go in between. Maybe I'm wrong, but That's my assumption. We'll see. I think, is it Wednesday or Thursday that the placement comes out, I think. So we'll see, but excited about that. Okay, other Enable Vision. So speaking of fig tree quilts, I am part of the Little Box of Figs Club, and our box came, I think this is the last box for the 2025 before 2026 starts. This is the pattern in the box, and I love it. Look at that. Joanna doesn't do hearts a lot. She talks about this. Hearts are not really her thing. You know, they're my thing. So when I saw this, I was like, this is the cutest table topper. It's 42 by 42. I'm for sure making this. We got fabric to make it. I'll show some of the stuff. There's always a whole bunch of goodies in the box and stuff. So really pretty. I think the only thing, I am not a giant fan of this pink color. Like, these are gorgeous, but I feel like I need to find a different pink, just because I like more pink instead of more coral. That's just me personally. So I will probably swap that out for mine, because that is like you can see the outer edge and then all of these little squares in the chart. So I think I probably will swap it out for a different fabric, but I love, love, love. Always, the eyelet is always fantastic. It's a favorite of mine, and this is beautiful. So, and that's probably from the Bon Natale, or however you say it. Let's look. Let's see if it's on here. It is, which was her Christmas collection for 2025. So, really fun. Then in the box, we got, Ethan will probably be the recipient of those. Got a pen. We got this really cool needle threader and seam ripper. I've seen these tools online. Got a little bit of the secret spot remover, and then a little wood heart. There's always just little extra goodies. And then we did get a little piece of fabric, and then look at these cute stickers included. So really fun. All the instructions for everything come in here. And then there's a bonus project for a simple Valentine's mug rug, which might be, I think she has a different one on her blog. Usually there's a couple of projects, and I bet that's going to be coming here on her shop pretty soon. So that was the Little Box of Figs. I love that table topper. Me and the hearts, you know. And then also my Sweetwater Label Club came. So these are the labels, and I will put a link to this. I'm part of their label club, have been for years. I love having these. I put them on the back of lots of my projects, felt projects, bag projects, quilts, all the things. So love these. Okay, my friends, I think that is it for this week. Thank you guys, as always, for joining me, for all of your sweet comments and your support of my channel and of what I do. I really, really appreciate it. I loved reading all of your comments last week of what you're working on, how your blessing stitch was going, all of that. So let me know what you're excited to work on for February. Are you still going strong with Christmas Wipgo if you chose to do it, or still going strong with Wipgo? However you're choosing to do Wipgo, do what you want. That's my rule here. Do what you want. Let me know how all of that's going. Let me know what you're looking forward to stitching this month. If you're going to stitch the Olympics, if you want to do the 250th kickoff for Super Bowl, or whatever you're stitching. I love hearing from all of you. Have a wonderful stitchy week, and I will see all of you here next week. Bye, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I want to let you know that some of the links in the description may be affiliate links, and I do earn a small in today's episode, here's what you can expect to... Okay, what you can expect in this week's episode. We have FFOs. We have... Okay, cut. So I chose for my FFO. Tell me how it's going down in the description.